Hey everybody, welcome back with your boy Grunt Killer. Today we're going to be showing you how to customize a simple gun prop and make it look a little bit better. So today we are working with a M4 CQB variant assault rifle. Now this prop was not expensive, it was $10 to buy. The most expensive part of the whole build is that, and it wasn't even that bad. Paints are cheap. You just are going to need primer, red paint, black paint, and that's it. All flat colors. Oh, and top coat as always. Some silver, acrylic for detail work. And that's about it. The deco we are going for with this is a Dawn of Justice inspired Red Hood rifle from the Nightmare sequence, where Ben Affleck had that Scar L rifle that had the Joker card on it. That's where the inspiration for this prop comes from. Without further ado, let's get into how we make one.
Okay, so the first thing you always do whenever you're painting a plastic existing prop is you give it a coat of primer. Now, I always like to use Rust-Oleum because I just trust it. It's never failed me on any prop. So both of these guns came in the same package. So pretty much same plastic, just black, flat plastic, and the gun went from black, crappy, to a nice, simple gray primer coat. Now after you've coated it and primed it, remember always spraying from about a good foot away. You don't want to give it any extra goopage, because that's a pain to clean up. And once you've gotten it all coated up, you can give it a second coating. I always give it 2 coats of primer because it just gives it a better surface for the good paint to cling to. Now we go on to give it its flat black coating all over. All over. So I normally would use Rust-Oleum flat black, but since I don't have any on hand, I go with my second favorite, which is Color Piece, or Paste. I don't know, it got covered in black. But it's a really good spray paint. It pretty much goes on every surface you can imagine. It's a fast dryer, it's pretty good. So, you pop that top, give her a good shake, and always remember, about a foot away, and you just want to cake it. And as always, you just leave it somewhere nice and open. None of the surface is touching anything that you're waiting to dry. And you just leave it there. I usually let it sit for about an hour or so. Then I bring it inside and let it sit for about another hour in the cool. Again, we just gotta wait. And then it'd be time to Red Hood eyes this pretty little piece. Oh. And now you can see that I did a little bit off camera just because, you know, it was a little boring. I didn't feel that it was necessary to show. With the black coat of paint, which is flat black, you know, obviously, I have taped off the sections of the gun that I want to remain black, which mostly included the tack rails, areas around the handle, you know, those areas. And I have spray painted the rest of the gun the Rust-Oleum Stain Apple Red. And I went with Stain because I like the way that it looks and it dries, because it has a much more aged feel when it's on plastic. And you know, it's a little weak right now obviously because it's just drying, but when you give it a top coat, it's nice and protected. But yeah, next step after this is going to be giving it some silver weathering to make it look more damaged, and then give it some top coat. Alright, so now that it is dried and we've brought it in, you can see where the taping off has given us this beautiful, beautiful deco of the paint. Just all throughout the prop. Came out really nice on the barrel. I thought it was going to come out really worse, but a little thing I didn't show was you can't see right here, but that really shiny part where the light's hitting it, I took some of the red spray paint and I put it on really wet, and I kind of wiped it off because I thought, he's the Red Hood. He ain't a nice guy. He's going to be bashing some skulls with this thing. So I thought a little blood stain on the back would be kind of a neat idea. And I even, there you go, you can see, I put some fingerprints purposefully into the red paint there, just to kind of give it a more organic feel, like somebody was trying to grab it or something like that. You know, little Easter eggs like that are always fun to put onto props. But what we are going to do now is weather it up. So, you take either, you know, a little piece of sandpaper, something simple, or I like to use sanding blocks, and incredibly lightly over sections like this, you can see where I've hit it a little bit, you just literally just do that. You just lightly run it over until you can kind of get where the primer layer is, and you can see it's like the metal showing through in the gun. And I'm not going to do a lot of this, I'm really just going to do it on this part, because the rest of the weathering is going to be done by hand using a nice tiny little paintbrush and some of our good friend, some of that trusted quality sterling silver metallic from Folk Art, because I like these guys' products. And you just dip, 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 dip. And this is nothing too special, just a very, covering up the camera, sorry, there we go, apologies for that. And this is just a very, very basic dry brush technique, where you just kind of lightly go over areas where you think a little bit more. Oh, and always, if you're dry brushing, you pretty much just take the paint off the brush until there's like a tiny bit left. You just go over it and it looks like it's been in actual battle. And we're going to do some of it in the red spots too. You know, just to... because again, Red Hood, he doesn't maintain his stuff very well. He keeps it to the bare minimum so he can keep, you know, shooting. Which, you know, makes sense. You can see how it kind of works, especially with the little bit of sanding we did to that, which just kind of show you a little bit more. Take it down a little bit. See, I just like the way that looks. I like it because it's natural. But you got to be careful with that technique because it's easy to do too much, and you never want to do too much because that'll ruin all the work you just put in. But yeah, simple little dry brushing like that, and we're gonna do that all over this thing, pretty much everywhere, especially in those areas that when I was sanding it, because I did sand this product, I did it where it was the legal stuff, and I left it dirty because I thought, you know, Red Hood's gonna scratch the serial numbers off of his gun, wouldn't he? So yeah, after this, I'm going to do a few tiny little cosmetic things like putting a wrap around the grip. I already showed you the blood decal. I'm going to put a little Red Hood symbol on the stock somewhere. And after that, the final reveal will be the next thing you see. And now that we have our prop all fully painted and all that good jazz, we are going to do the last step, as always, which is top coating. And I'm specifically using dual color high performance wheel coating once again because it goes on flat and it gives one of the strongest protections that I've ever seen from a top coat. So I don't really need to show you this. I'm just gonna prefacing by saying you always do this to protect the good paint and all the work that you have put in for a prop. And now, without further ado, the reveal. So it looks like I kind of lied to you guys. The next thing you were seeing was not the reveal, but a little thing, kind of a warning and also a happy accident, was that with the top coat, some of the areas I sprayed it a little closer than the 1 foot I always say to spray it, and it kind of naturally gave some of these almost ghost white kind of color patches, especially right there on the red hood symbol. And at first I was looking at it like, well, that's not good. I gotta go back in and completely redo all those sections. But then when I looked back, it kind of fit the prop, because you gotta remember, the Red Hood's been using this for a while, hence all the damage. So I thought, you know, why not just leave it? Touch up some of the areas that I thought were too weathered away, like specifically some of the red spots. But overall, I mean, it kind of worked out. I like it. It brought the bat symbol out a little bit, so that's cool. But now that that's done, the next thing you will see is the reveal.